Thanks for joining us on another Rolling Through New England Back Road Adventure. This is Templeton Turnpike, Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire. Been on this road before, but haven't been down here in a while, so we wanted to come down and check it out and just see what it looks like. Probably end up in Royalston, Massachusetts area. We got no real plan for the day or for the ride, anything like that. We just exploring. So let's see what we find. So when you're out here rolling through New England, you never know what you're gonna find. Stuff like this, I think, is really cool. Check it out. This used to be a house. It's collapsed into its own cellar hole. But peeking out of the back here, we've got old GMC. What a cool truck. Poor thing just left to sit there. Yeah, this old homestead has seen a better day, for sure. Nice spot they have here. Let's check out this little brook real quick. Cool. You catch brook trout in that thing all day long. of my favorite things about living in New England is the rich railroad history that we have here. This, if you watched our last video about Webb Depot, this is the railroad line that goes to Webb Depot, that way. This was a Boston and Maine railroad. They ran passenger trains on it in the 30s, or until the 30s, and they ran freight on it until the 80s, I think, at least the 50s that I know for sure. I know they ran freight on other B&M lines in Cheshire County and Hillsborough County until the 80s at least. But yeah, to me, for some reason, railroads are just so cool. When I was a teenager, I had a Ouija board tell me that I was killed by a train in my past life. So I've always been attracted to trains and railroad tracks and things like that. And I love the engineering marvels that you can find on a railroad. You know, the bridges, trestles that they made, the cuts they make through the granite. They don't care. The railroad needs to go, it goes. They figure out a way. It's cool. A lot of hard work and dedication went into building these, you know, what were once the lifeblood arteries of America. You know, and the fact that we have so many of them around here, to me, it's cool. Obviously, this has been reconstructed by the Snowmobile Club to make a nice bridge here for their trail system, but it doesn't take much to find the old trestle construction pieces underneath. You know, obviously the steel and tracks and whatnot are gone, but the granite is still here. That's the way to Webb Depot. Probably, oh, I don't know, 10 miles or so that way. Maybe more. All right, now let's see if I can make it back to the car without busting my ass on this ice. I just want to take a second here and appreciate the ruralness of where we're at right now. Look around us. There's nothing. There's no telephone poles, power lines, houses, other traffic. I can hear an airplane. Probably the closest person to us. This is what I like about back roads through New England. It's just me in the woods. It's my way of being able to explore the wilderness, explore the backcountry, and share with all you guys. So cool. The middle of nowhere. I grew up exploring with my dad. One of the things him and I used to do together is just go for rides. We would go on back roads, four-wheeling, you know, just all over the place. He loved Western Massachusetts because it was so rural. But I was a kid and I didn't really grasp, I didn't grasp it as well then. I can remember the first time I ever felt like, holy smokes, I am in the middle of nowhere, was on a trip I went on in 1997. I went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan with a friend of mine, and he's from up there, so he wanted to show me, you know, where he grew up and stuff like that, because I had shown him where I grew up. Anyways, if you look at Michigan, you got Lower Michigan is like a mitten, and then Upper Michigan is like, you know, your two fingers. Well, he lived up here in the very tip, place called the Keweenaw. He took me on a ride, Eagle Harbor, the Eagle Harbor Loop. And we stopped, and I got out of the car, and I felt desolation. There was nothing. There was no sounds other than wildlife, the splashing of the waves of Lake Superior. Nothing. No power lines. I hadn't seen a house in hours. You know, I hadn't seen another car all day. And I just felt so at peace with the world. I was like, this is where I belong. I love this. And I've been, I guess, chasing that ever since. So when I find places that are that rural, I like to just stop for a second and take it in. You know, it's sure, I'm on a road. Obviously, it's man-made. But everything else about where I'm at is 100% natural earth. And, you know, to be able to absorb that even for just a minute is cool. It's refreshing, you know, in my opinion. So that's part of the reason why I like to do this. You know, I like to find those places where, you know, you can experience that and share them with other people. So this is the site of the Roxbury Church, built in 1803, rebuilt in 1849. I don't know where it is now, but it isn't here. All that's left is that little stone right there. But this is a cool crossroads out here. A couple of options to go. I think there's one that way, but it's probably class 6. Doesn't look like anybody's been down there all winter. And that's the way we came from. But yeah, this is pretty cool out here. We never spend a whole lot of time. This is the outskirts of Keene, New Hampshire. It's called Roxbury. I don't know if it's actually a town of Roxbury, if it's just a village of Keene, what it is, but it's pretty neat. We drove through Roxbury Center back a little ways and there was nothing. It looked just like this, so I'm assuming it's just a village. Anyways, we're gonna try keep going up that way. It looks like there's some skidder marks or forwarder marks. We passed some logging equipment back there a little ways, so we don't know what the condition of the road's gonna be like. Ground's a little soft. It's pretty warm out today. It's finally up in the 40s, so things are starting to thaw. And you know, a little concerned about the mud. I mean, this vehicle has a great four-wheel drive system, but I'm just running all season tires and don't have a super lot of ground clearance, so ruts and things like that bother me. But hey, we're gonna give it a shot. Let's see where we go. Worst case scenario, we turn around and come back. Well, I guess that answers our question now, doesn't it? All right, check out what we found. Let's take a walk around here, see what it looks like. they're so faded I can barely even read it. Well, this one says died July 1828. Maybe you can see it in the camera better than I can, but I can't even read that one. Some flat stones down there. I want to go up here and see these ones though. See if we can't find one that we can read. Yeah, right, it's George. Oh, Charles, son of George. So that means George probably here somewhere. Charles S., son of George and L.B. Elwith, died December 6th, 1854, 11 years, 3 months. Alice, 2 years, 4 months. These ones always get me. CSE. That's it. You get your initials. No date, no nothing. Same here. ASE. Oh, I think I just figured it out. That's the footstone for Alice S. Elweth. And the other one, obviously, Charles S. Cool. Because I see those in a lot of places, and that's all it is, the initials. So now, I think I might have just figured that out. Who else we got here? George Ellis. Marion, how do you say that? Eveleth? I don't know. Charity Collins. Susanna, wife of John Town. And here we have John Town. Oh wow. McNeil. James R. McNeil Jr. Joyce Darling. I wonder why they had to dig him up, because that's fresh. At least fresh before winter, maybe. I love visiting old cemeteries. It's peaceful, they're usually beautiful, quiet, but also a stark reminder of what's to come. You know, eventually we're all gonna end up in some facsimile of this type of place. So I like to visit the people who are here. You know, I like to say their names out loud. I like to pay respects to the veterans and their loved ones, things like that, you know. Just in case. Wouldn't it be nice to hear your name 200 years from now? I think it'd be cool. Robert Edwin Ellis, U.S. Army, Korea. 68 years old when he died. I just tried to look up this grave on Find a Grave or Google, and you find absolutely nothing about the person's military career. I actually have this same exact problem with my grandfather. I don't know anything about his military service, and it bothers me. All his grave says is the same thing: U.S. Army, Korea. You look it up online, it says the same thing as Mr. Ellis here, served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. That's it. You know, it doesn't tell you nothing. It doesn't tell you what rank they were. It doesn't tell you what unit they served with. It doesn't tell you what areas of the country they were in. It doesn't. There's nothing. And I think that's a great disservice to our veterans. You know, people who want to learn that history can't, and there's no avenue to do so. So we may not know what your rank was or who you served with or the things that you may have done in Korea, but thank you for your service, sir. We appreciate you and the men and women like you who sacrifice themselves for the greater good of humanity and the betterment of others. This is a wooden bridge. So this is Keene Concord Road in Stoddard, New Hampshire. Never been down here before. It's a pretty cool road so far. I'm not sure if it's going to take us all the way through or not, but we're going to go as far as we can make it. There is tire marks here. Somebody else has been through, although it doesn't look like they're from today. So the last couple of days or so, someone else went through here. We'll see if they made it all the way. We're going to give it a shot. Well, it looks like this is the end of the road for us. Hey, these guys have a nice place though. We'll have to come back here in the summer and see if we can't make it the rest of the way, because that looks interesting. So on our way in here, we saw a sign that said Robb Reservoir and pointed this way. So we figured might as well take a little walk over and see what we can find. It's still really icy. Coincidentally, we had ice cleats in the car for both of us, so that's good. Robb Reservoir Reservation, 1,668 acre tract, owned and managed by the Harris Center. Cool. Looks like a great place to go fishing. What a nice place. Let's go over here and check the dam out. This is cool. I definitely want to come fishing here. Well, unfortunately for us, that road dead ends at this person's house. Turns into a private road from here on, but at least we got to see it. Nice views.